along with his wallet. She was certain he'd not been happy, but she'd wanted payments for her services and felt it only right. Upon arriving in Boston, her plan had been to find another Mark, relieve him of his funds, and take a steamer to Canada, hoping the Pinkertons would give up the chase and go after other prey. But at the moment, she didn't have enough money to get her anywhere. So now, she looked around the bedroom in search of items she could pawn. It didn't matter that everything in the house belonged to the bank. She had a more pressing need. To that end, she opened the trunk she dragged out of the attic and began to fill it with whatever she could find. Heavy ornate candlesticks, the silverware from her morning meal. She even took down the framed portraits of Lucius and his first wife hanging in the hallway because the frames looked valuable. The cash wasn't nearly enough, but she'd search the rest of the house in a few moments. Now she had to finish her packing, so she began removing her gowns from her wardrobe. Leaving? The smug voice belonged to the dog-faced daughter, Bethany. Cecile didn't turn around. I'm going to visit a cousin in New York. She continued removing her gowns from the armoire. And well-brought-up women do not enter a room without announcing themselves first. What would you know about the habits of well-raised women? Enough to know that you are not. Neither are you, according to the wire I received today from a Pinkerton. Cecile paused, but only for a moment, then began placing her face paints into a small carpet bag. Have you been fabricating tales, Bethany? I know you've never cared for me, but Pinkertons? That's a bit over the top, even for you. According to the wire, fabrications aren't needed. Pinkertons have been trying to run you to ground for years. Apparently you make your living preying on men like my father. I've no idea what you're babbling about. No? Then maybe when the man arrives he can voice it in a language you do understand. What man? The Pinkerton. He'll be coming here later and is very interested in speaking with you. Cecile's mind was racing beneath her cool, distant exterior. About what? The other men you've embezzled? You're babbling again, Bethany. I think not. When you first began showing an interest in my father, I sensed something wasn't right. An acquaintance suggested I share my fears with Pinkerton's Boston office, and I did. They made some inquiries on my behalf, and lo and behold, a woman fitting your description turned up in their arrest sheets. There are thousands of women fitting my description all over the country, but none make their living by marrying multiple husbands and stealing from them. Cecile didn't care for the superior haughtiness flashing in Bethany's basset brown eyes any more than she liked hearing that she might be heading for arrest. On the pretext of placing her night clothes in the trunk, Cecile walked over to it and wrapped her hand around one of the heavy candlesticks hidden beneath her gowns. Employing a trick as old as Methuselah, she trilled, "Well, hello, Lucius." When Bethany turned to the door expecting to see her father, Cecile brought the candlestick down on the back of her head with such force she fell to the floor. Cecile struck her again to make sure she was dead. Staring down at the pool of blood spreading slowly beneath Bethany's head, Cecile felt the glow of satisfaction. Had you been smart, my dear stepdaughter, you would have kept your mouth shut and left me unawares of the Pinkertons' interest. Instead, you had to gloat and tell all. Now look at you. Those nasty little puppies you call children are going to be motherless, all because you couldn't stand not throwing up what you knew in my face. Stupid. It came to Cecile that she had been stupid as well. Murder was a very serious offense. Had she been thinking, she would have struck Bethany only hard enough to render her senseless, tied and gagged her, and stuffed her in a closet somewhere. Instead, she'd killed her. Now she was really going to have to go to ground, and in a place no one, not even the Pinkertons, would think to look.